Oh, oops. And my phone on there. I was watching James Turner videos this morning while I was setting things up. Hi guys. Let me pause the music for just a second. I am curious. Okay. So let me pause this. So first off, apologies for the few-minute late start. I was having a bitch session with one of my military friends about this was my first drill back this weekend since December. And I was chatting with him about some things that happened over the weekend. You know, he was one of my my mentors from when I was on active duty, and we still chat quite frequently. So yeah, so hi Sonia, how are you? So we were having a moment this morning, and I needed to vent. Plus to that though is I officially applied for my for retirement, so my application is in the works. Last I looked, I believe that it was sitting with the commander waiting for signature, so that's exciting and also kind of terrifying. What else do I have to before we get into everything? I know I mentioned before that I have some chronic health issues, and I figured, you know, in the issue of like transparency, I would update you guys. So I have an autoimmune disorder called Graves' disease, and it is a thyroid disease. I was actually diagnosed while I was deployed. And on top of that, I also have thyroid eye disease. So I have been undergoing treatment with a neurological ophthalmologist. I'm about 5 weeks into a long course of steroids, and I didn't really notice that like any difference in how my face looked. Or really like how I felt, but I had an appointment yesterday, and as soon as she walked in the room, she was like, "Oh wow, that's like a huge difference." And I was like, "Oh, what?" So, you know, she did all her measurements and things like that, and it looks like the steroids have reduced a pretty significant amount of swelling in the tissue behind my eyes. So that was super exciting and nice to hear. You know, so hopefully I can just keep on that trajectory. KP, hi, welcome, hello. I'm multitasking today, so listening while I am working. I got you, girl. I'll be your girl, man, ladies, gentlemen, ladies. I'm sorry. I really try not to do that. I just kind of assume, I feel like there's more females in this specter. KP, I got you. I'll be your entertainment while you're working. Welcome on in. Gosh, what else do I have? I posted a pretty long thread over on the community tab, just, you know, kind of sharing some goals I have for the channel. I am eligible for applying for monetization. I've had the sub count for a while, but it was the watch hours that I was struggling with. And one of the things, I guess, that was, I don't want to say causing issues, but I have one video in particular that I'm not even, like, I want to redo it. I think at this point I have learned quite a bit since I did that video, and, you know, improving the quality of the stream and all that stuff, the videos. So it's been on my list of videos to redo for quite some time, it's really interesting how the videos that sometimes you're not proud of, or that you think could have been better, or that you want to redo, end up being the biggest videos for you. And so that video generated quite a bit of views. And then when I hit the year mark where those hours started to drop off, it'll I'll lose a bunch of watch hours off of that video, and it'll just consistently drop me back down. And so then with the newer content that I feel like I've been struggling to gain traction with, it's not been enough to make up for what's dropping off. Hi, Dustcatcher. That one video you sometimes talk about is the video I found you with. I am not surprised. It's the tips and tricks for underpainting with markers from 2 years ago. But yeah, that's the video. So so yeah, it's been hard to catch up with that, and I've kind of tried to play around with some of the search engine optimization, and using similar search terms to some of those videos that have done really well. And I feel like there is something that I am missing. So I don't know, but it's weird. But then in between there, it used to be just one level of monetization. So it was the 1,000 subs, and I think at that point it was, I can't remember if it was 3,000 or 4,000 watch hours, or what it was. But then they broke it up, and so now the tier 1 is the 1,000 subs and 3,000 watch hours, and that's what opens up the super chats and the ability to open up a shop, but you're not eligible for ad revenue for tier 1. That is the 1,000 subs and 4,000 watch hours. So they broke it up, I guess, to give people another level to work towards. And so I'm eligible to apply for monetizing for the first tier, but I don't have the 4,000 watch hours yet. So I was hoping to get to 3,500 watch hours before I actually apply for it. I just feel like there's not enough consistency in my view counts on my videos, and I'm afraid that if I apply and they don't, and that's something that YouTube takes into account, because I know that they do. I've heard other people say that. It's not just about meeting those metrics. They look at your videos, and they look at your counts. And I have seen some people say that oh, well, they've come back and they've said, well, we want to see a more even distribution across your content. And it looks like right now you have a few videos that get the majority of your views. And if that happens, then you have to wait I think 30 days before you can apply it again. So I'm trying to be a little more consistent, and yada yada, and search pencil on top of marker, and I was the first selection of videos. I wish my other videos would pop up there. I don't know what I'm doing, you guys. Yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at with that. I also, well, you know what? I'll talk about that once we get into some of the supply stuff here, because I've got some things that I'd like to start utilizing with the channel, but we'll talk about that when we get in here. So I have some goodies for us to take a look at today. And then Sonia requested that she wanted to see the Kaala markers swatched, the illustration tones that I used on the bookshop illustration. video from like 2 weeks ago. So we'll go through the supplies, most of its books. And then we'll swatch those, and I do have an illustration picked out, so if we get to that point, then we'll use the Kaala markers and we'll just, you know, chit chat. So not that I don't want to see the books. Well, I'm not going to do full flip throughs of the books, but if there is anything that you guys see as we go through these that you want a full flip through of that I haven't already done a flip through of, let me know, and I can put something together on that. But let's do this stuff first, because then I can get this box off my desk. So this is what I was kind of talking about for some upgrades to the channel. So this is just the dummy battery for my my camera. Let us know what you need, and maybe some of us could do an occasional search for what you need to increase your numbers. Honestly, like the biggest thing that helps boost, even if like you guys, because obviously like we all have lives, and some of my videos run a little long. I don't expect anybody to sit down and watch like a full 45-minute video of me like coloring, but just dropping like comments and likes on the videos, like that pushes them up, you know, so more people get seen. And I mean, you guys are coming and spending your time with me on these live streams, and so that's, you know, and honestly, like aside from that, YouTube's algorithm is so like ever changing. I can't even like say other than that like what they want. And for all I know, I could be doing something wrong, like when I title my videos, or I'm not using the right keywords. I honestly don't know, but I'm trying not to like dwell too much on that, you know, because I don't want it to like take the fun out of doing this for me. But I do appreciate that you guys come and hang out, and you know, yeah, so dummy battery for the camera so that I won't have to keep swapping my battery out. Finally found one. It's not a Canon battery, so hopefully it doesn't like blow my camera up, because then I would be super sad. So I got that. Then I picked up, this thing wasn't cheap, and I've had my eye on it for a little bit. I've used other Elgato products, and I've been really happy with them. My capture card that I use for gaming to get my PlayStation integrated with my computer is an Elgato product. Not sponsored by Elgato yet. Lol. My control mount that I have up there for the camera is Elgato, but so this is the cam link. So right now I have my camera plugged into the PC via the micro USB cable, and I've been having issues with when I run it on video mode for longer than like 30 to 45 minutes, it starts telling me that my camera is overheating. It doesn't do it when I have it in photo mode. So I did some research, and apparently that is a common issue with this camera and using the micro micro USB. So this will allow me to be able to run the camera off of like clean HDMI, which takes less load off of the camera and off of the PC. And it might even give me a little bit better video quality. It came while I was at drill, so I didn't have a chance to like set anything up, and since I had a stream scheduled, I didn't want to rip my entire setup apart, because I already know that in the current configuration, this cable is not going to be long enough. So I need to do some measuring and see how far out my control arm comes, and I might be able to flip my camera to the other side of my desk. But yeah, so some tech stuff that I will be playing with. We'll put those over there. I also picked up a little selection of Copics. Let me get this box off my desk. And then I'll grab my, I already swatched these just because I wanted to see how far through the collection I am. I know I tell you guys you don't need every single Copic because a lot of them are very similar colors. And that is absolutely true, but I feel like I'm in too deep now. So let me show you guys what my collection looks like now. It's hard to see, but I do have the majority of the quad zeros up at the top. They're just really hard to see. So I currently have all of the blue violets, all of the violets, all of, let me see. That is super difficult to see. I actually have to like look at, yes, I do have the quad for the red violets. I have all of the red violets. I'm missing the quad and the triple red. I have all of the yellow oranges. I'm missing one yellow, a couple of the yellow greens. So I've actually filled in quite a bit of this chart. So these I actually got from Michaels. Normally they are not my go-to for Copic markers because their prices for their single markers are outrageous. But they were doing another buy two get one free sale, and I had some rewards vouchers that needed to be used up, so I splurged. And also I'd like to put these away so they're not in a box on my desk. The next thing, it's like me telling people you don't need more than 10 to 15 watercolor paints and then I go buy more paint. It's true. I do the same thing, and I try and tell myself it's because I'm doing it for the content. I'm trying to find this so I have it and I can reference it. I will also go in after the stream and put links to all of the books and whatnot. I didn't do it when I set the thumbnail up for the stream because I usually do that ahead of time, and I was actually still waiting on some things that came after the fact. So this next thing we're going to unbox together. This is, I don't have a really like nice ceramic palette, and I've been looking through some of my books trying to plan for future content, and I have like the Winsor and Newton inks, and I really want to use more of like my watercolor and my acrylic inks and things like that. So I have a bunch of plastic palettes, but using like dye-based mediums on plastic palettes, it just stains the palettes, and then it I don't know. So I bought a really nice and kind of expensive ceramic palette, but supporting small business. I got this on Etsy. Have not unboxed it. I've been saving it so that we could take a look at it together. And it came from Good Press Ceramics. I will link to the Etsy shop in the comments below afterwards. Oh, we got paper snacks. Oh my. Hold on a second. Let me make sure that there's, okay, so we got the business card in there. That's kind of scary that this was the only packaging that was in here. And the cardboard on the bottom. Although I think it did come in another box. Okay, so I just thought this was super cool. It looks like a honeycomb, like on a beehive, and then we've got this little bee guy up here. It is super like nice quality. This is obviously handmade. It's got the little things on the back, so it sits nice on my desk. I'm going to have to find a place for it to live. They have a whole bunch of different designs. Like I'm looking at the shop right now. This was the first one that caught my eye, but there was another one that so they have I just see this one now. It's a turtle, and it actually comes with a lid that goes over top of the shell. Beautiful palette. I will definitely check the Etsy store out. Yeah, definitely. Like I said, I'll make sure that the link gets in the description at the end. Like it definitely was not cheap, but somebody handmade this, and so I'm willing to pay more for something that a small business that somebody like literally handmade. She's got one on here that the palette wells are shaped like pine trees, and then there's a little bear down at the bottom. There's a whole bunch of stuff on here. Ooh. It's got like ceramic tiles and things like that. But yeah, I really wanted a nice like ceramic palette that was easy to clean, so, and that came from Good Press Ceramics. It's really pretty the way they did that, the honeycombs. Yeah, I thought it was really cool. And I like the bee up here too. So, we might do some ink on stream at some point, because I do need to do some more work in the ink house. And I'm doing that all in ink of some form or fashion. Okay, so we got that. And now onto the books. So the first one I have is it's in French. I know that shot is cat. But this has been out for a while. I got this off Amazon. So these are really like square little books. There's a lot of pages in here, but this is I can't talk. This would be really nice, I think, to like just throw in a bag. If you're going somewhere where you're going to be sitting, grab like a small set of pencils, something that would fit. If I had to do jury duty again, I would take this to jury duty instead of the giant book that I took the last time I had to do jury duty. But But yeah, there's some like small little like pictures and whatnot in here. I really like this. This is adorable. Let me zoom us in just a little bit here so we can see. And also, I don't know if you guys can see it on the camera. I'm gonna apologize that my fingers are yellow. I made shawarma seasoned rice and grilled cheese last night, and there was turmeric in the seasoning, and it's like all over me. I'm always like stained yellow after I cook with turmeric, so it is. It's so tiny. And I mean, you guys know I have cats. A few of them have made an appearance. I just thought they were super cute. The paper's nice quality too. Like I'd say it's probably a little bit thinner than US Kirby paper. So I don't know how well this would take like watercolor, but you could probably get away with Inktense and a Tombow blender in here. I'd have to crack the spine on this because unfortunately the images do go into the spine. And there's some double page spreads in here too, so that's nice. But yeah, if you like I said, if there's anything you want to see a full flip through of, let me know. The next one is fur balls. I got this one for Ryan, and then when he showed it off, I was like, I'm gonna have to get that one for my myself. This is a Diane DeFore. Why is her name not on here? I'm pretty sure that's, yes, this is one of Diane DeFore's books. But I know this has been around. I have seen Lucy Just Adds Color do some work in this, and I think this one would definitely be really good for ink in Inktense. Leave a comment of what I want to see later. I got you. Yeah, you can either let me know now, or if you want to wait and add them later, that is perfectly fine. Ooh. Well, I guess I'm already planning for Halloween. This is the kind of, I love this, like, this line art style. Just the not completely closed lines, and you know, the extra lines and things like that. Super, super cute. Oh, that's adorable. That is absolutely adorable. I don't even want to wait until October to color that one. And this is also a small size book. It's a little bit bigger than the cat book, but these would both be good for tossing in a bag for on the go. So the next two books, these aren't, I mean, they could probably end up being coloring books at some point. So I got this one because I'm trying to improve my my line art, and with some of the medication I've been on, it causes fine tremors in my hands. So I thought this would be fun to, like, it's, you guys definitely can't see the image on here, but it's a trace and escape, so the lines in here are like Very, very like gray. It's super light. We aren't going to be able to see this one on the camera, but hi Jen, how are you? Have the Trace and Escape and love it so much. Nice. Okay, I'm glad to hear that. Hi Jen, how are you? Welcome on in. But yeah, so I got that Trace and Escape, and then I got this official ink tracing Hidden Cities. This one we might be able to see. So the the line art is in white in here. That is very daunting. And it looks like they've already done like the background and whatnot for us. So these are just kind of something I picked up to to work on like my dexterity with my hands. Such a warm welcome, thank you. Hope all is well. I'm good. I worked all weekend. I was, running around doing appointments and stuff yesterday, but I'm hanging in there. How are you? So the next these kind of go with the next set of books. These were just some extras. So again, I will link to the shop in the description below. I'll go set everything up after the stream. So I try to only do this when there is a pretty, like, at least like 3 to 4 books that I really, really want, because this was not cheap. But the next set of books are all from Asian artists, and I got them from Etsy. I have bought from this shop before. The shipping is definitely not cheap, but what do you do in the light line books, and why the light lines? I'm honestly not sure why they're light lines, but I guess because he already did the backgrounds, so I guess you would use like a black fine liner to go in and go over the lines. There weren't really that many like example pictures for this one. It was pretty cheap on Amazon, but I'll have to figure it out. Unique coloring books for beginners and advanced artists. So it's designed, I guess, for you to trace over um the line work. Um I totally lost my train of thought. Anyways, so books from overseas. This next group of books came from Cool Craft Books. Her name is Moon, and she is from Korea. And I have bought from her before. And so let's start with this one, because then I can tell the story. And I'm going to have to pull this up on my phone so that I can tell you guys what the title of the book is. But she sent me a couple extras in the box. So I got this coloring page as like a freebie. I believe this is an Anastasia Ellie Koldariva image. It says AK 2020 specifically for Cool Craft Books. So it looks like this was something that that Anastasia did for this shop, to be able to include like with their orders as like a freebie, which is pretty cool. And then this one, I'm not sure who the artist is on this one, or what it came from, but it's pretty cool. I like it. I might have to do a little research and see if I can figure out where this one came from. Let me catch up on the chat. Return to work today at home and I'm on break, although I don't have system access to anything. I was on leave of absence, but all is well now. Well, hopefully they get you access to what you need, because that's incredibly frustrating when you can't do your job. Let me pull up my order on my phone here so I can tell you guys what the names of these books are. Hooray! Order delivered. Okay, so this one is just called the cat coloring book. I spend most of this week just sitting and doing busy work. Getting paid for busy work. Sometimes that's a good thing. Yeah, I've been there. Hi, Jackie. Welcome on in. First time to your channel. Love it. We'll be coming more often. Well, welcome. We are glad to have you. Typically, I do this every Tuesday at 10:30 Eastern. And then I release at least one video throughout the week. And sometimes I stream more than that, so. Work for major banks, have compliance things to do, and security is tight. Yeah, I feel that. I do some work from home for the military sometimes, and yeah, I have to be careful about what I bring home and where I keep it and whatnot. Most of what I bring home isn't like, there's no PII or CUI on it or anything like that, but I have a dashboard that I can log into that basically mirrors mirrors my computer at work. So cat coloring book. So the shop I got this from is called Cool Craft Books. Her name is Moon, and she messaged me about 24 hours after I had placed my order and was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, like this," and she sent me pictures of this book in particular, and was like, "Oh, the cover has some scuffs on it, and like one of the pages was bent," and she asked if I still wanted the book or if I wanted her to refund it. And I said, "Oh, I absolutely still want the book, because based on the images that she sent, it was like just like one of the corners on one of the pages, and then there was like a scuff mark on one of them, like nothing that I wouldn't be able to like color over." And I mean, sometimes when I'm working in some of my books, I cause like scuffs on the corners of the pages. So I was like, "No, I absolutely, like, this book is adorable. I still want it." And she said, "Okay." And then she refunded me half of the cost of the book, which she absolutely did not need to do. So super easy to work with. And I got these, so they came from Korea. And I had them a day and a half later. Like, I was not expecting them to get here that quickly. So the shipping was super quick. And I definitely want to work in this book. I love it. I love it so much. Yeah, exactly. It was crazy. Cause I think it was so it came DHL. Most of what I've ordered from her have come via DHL. Let me look and see here. Maybe if it'll let me. Amazon, right? My Amazon doesn't even come that quick, and I have Prime. So, I think I ordered it like I placed my order like the 31st of January. She messaged me like about a day later, like not taking into account like the time difference. Um, and then the order was picked up or dropped off by DHL on the 1st of February, and I got it on the 2nd. And that was, so it went from Korea to Cincinnati to um like to here in my city. So I mean, I know we have DHL planes that come into our airport here, so maybe it came in there, but it was insanely quick. But I absolutely love this book, and I can't wait to color in it. But I have I have two projects that I'm working on right now, and I'm really trying to like be mindful of my long-term projects. So I'm working on the grasshopper page from Fairy Wonderland, and I started working on Ryan's buddy color. Which, incidentally, do you guys want a sneak peek of that when we're done, or do you want to wait and see it when the video comes out? I love this. That's so cute. Okay, so we got one vote for a sneak peek. Because I mean, I did show you guys, like, we did the color palette together, so. So that's the cat coloring book. And then the next one is. This one is called the Day We Finally Met. I can't remember who else. I know I've seen a few people share this book and work in this book, and I thought it was adorable, so I had to get it. Um, okay, so I've got 3 votes for sneak peek. Okay, so we'll do a sneak peek before we do the swatching. Um, but I don't know who the artist on this one is. But so this is kind of like more cats. I love it. So it's actually got Rockabye Baby both in English on the left, and then I'm not sure if this is, I'm not sure what language this is in, or why my camera is not focusing. But I love it so much. This image is on my short list. I really want to color this one. So I'm already kind of like in my head planning out like future color palettes and whatnot. This one's cute too, but I think I will save this one for the fall. See, it's got like lullabies and like little kids' rhymes and whatnot. Oh my gosh, is this the same? It is! Oh my god, that's so cool! Okay, so this is the inside. And then the next image is from the outside. It's the same two little characters looking out the window. I love it. Then I just have to like be careful, like making sure that I remember how I color them on the first page so they look correct on this page. That's awesome. Isn't it? That's so cool to like put that like level of like detail into it. And this is the same tree. Okay. So this must be summer. And then in the next image, it's the same tree but it's in winter. So this was the day we finally met. So the next one, this is Aries' newest book, or one of her newer books. This is a world literature coloring book. I definitely don't do enough work in my Aerie books. I love her art style. And I have worked in them before, but I have a hard time, I think, I don't know, like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, obviously, I appreciate, um, you know, the art, the aesthetic. I think it's amazing. Her images are adorable. And so, for those of you that don't know, she does all of her ink work with like toothpicks. What was the name of the shop for the Korean books? It was Cool Craft Books on Etsy. And I'll update that in the description as well after the stream. But I don't know if it's because I'm so used to working in like Kirby books with all of like the shading, and Aries' style is a little bit different. She leaves a lot more like open space. And so sometimes I don't like, my brain can't process like how to shade that. It's just a different type of detail. But this is a gorgeous book, and I do want to work in it, so. And again, let me know either in the chat and I'll jot it down, or you can wait until the stream is over and leave it in the comments, or if you're watching this back on replay and you see a book that you would like a full flip through of, let me know and I can do my best to make that happen. So next I have Nocturnes by Anastasia Ellie Koldariva. Sometimes I get lucky and I find these on Etsy, but they can be really difficult to find, especially the older books. if you're interested in Anastasia's work, I believe that it used to be if you emailed her, and she's on Instagram, if you emailed her, you could coordinate purchasing that way. But she may have I remember seeing something about this. She may have started up like a website or a Ko-fi similar to Ko-fi, um, where you can actually purchase PDFs of some of her books, rather than the hardback version. So if you have the ability to print, um, that also might be an option. But I'd have to pop on Instagram and confirm that. But I do recall seeing something about her working to try and make that an option. But this is Nocturnes. She does largely portraits, and sometimes I'm in the mood to color portraits. I like to use markers on these, so I can't draw realistic people to save my life. There's some really cool images in this book. I've kind of like um, perused through this one. I like this one, the hair in particular. What's the paper like in this one? It's nice cardstock. I've never used water on this. I'm trying to think what it is akin, what it would be like akin to. I'm not like a paper guru, so I can't sit here and estimate like, the weight of the paper. It's single-sided though, so it does take marker well. You'll just need something in between because it's gonna bleed. Um, hmm. I'm trying to think of what it would be comparable to. It's not cheap cardstock. Gotta say, appreciate our artists that ordered Timu books. In there were AI hands coming out of the chest, random images coming out of walls or floor. Oh, yeah, yeah. I've been in that position before too, and some of it is like so subtle. I've found that a lot on Etsy as of late. Like a lot of um shops popping up selling coloring pages, like PDF coloring pages. And from the, like the initial previews, it's really hard to tell whether or not they're AI. But I think you can also kind of look at like how long the shop's been open and how much content they're putting up. I feel like if there's like a huge influx of um listings on a shop that hasn't been open for very long, would kind of make me wonder on that one. As somebody who's getting into illustrating and knows that it's not generally a quick process, you know? But it's definitely made it a little more difficult to discern what's what. Oh, that's kind of cool. I like this one too. I had some thoughts and some ideas for this one, so maybe we'll do a portrait day at some point. This one was pretty too. I like this one. But that is Nocturnes by Anastasia Eli Koldariva. I like her portraits too. So the next one, I did a flip through. It's on the channel, so I'm not gonna like dwell too much on this one, but it did come in the midst of this group of stuff. Um, so this is Crystal Kingdom. This is the most recent um mythographic book. Have to be watercolorable for me. But honestly, how do I feel about planets? Oh my goodness. I'm honestly surprised that I didn't get comments or a thumbs down for complaining about the planets. I was waiting for somebody to be like complaining about me complaining about the planets. Oh, there are some really beautiful images in here, and I'm gonna make it work, but like I thought that we had gotten away I thought we had gotten away from that. I know some of the earlier books, I think even some of the early Joseph Cadombang mythographic books had the random, like I'm not talking about the hidden objects, I'm talking about the random planets. I watched the flip through this book and couldn't help but LOL remarks about the planets. I just, oh man. I just, why? Like it didn't even make sense to some of the like I would have rather had just blank space. Some of the illustrations, they absolutely are, and I believe I believe she is a newer illustrator to the mythographic world, so I don't know if it was maybe like I don't know. They said no, you got to fill the white space, and so she was like, I don't know. I don't know what the thought process was, and I don't want to speculate. I just the random planets. Uh, I'm okay with it if it makes sense to the image, you know. But yeah, so Crystal Kingdom. The last book. This has been out. I think this came out in March, and he has a couple other books. I really like the line art style in here. I would actually say, okay, so this is Amazon. Um, the cardstock in this book is thicker than what's in the Anastasia book. I'd put this at probably a 65 or an 80 GSM. Yeah, there's some gorgeous images in this book. I know I've seen some other people do some flip throughs of this, but I haven't seen any of them. And I know I'm flipping through kind of fast, but I do want to get to the swatching. This swatching. But yeah, I was honestly like surprised because there's sometimes it's like you give your okay, well not sometimes. A lot of times it's like you give your opinion in it and you try and do it in like a sensitive way, and people get upset, you know, people get upset, um especially when you're doing reviews and it's not anything but glowing. Brand loyalty is real, my friends. I try and do it more from like an observational way and not a holy crap, this product like sucks, you know, because that's not constructive. But I mean that and that definitely was not the case with that book. Obviously, it was just more of a like, why? Okay, so that was the last book. So I'm gonna flip to the BRB screen for just a second. I'm gonna swap my battery out, and then I will be right back, and we will start doing the swatchings. So give me just a second. Okay, perfect timing. I just swapped the battery out. Okay, and you guys did want you guys did want a sneak peek of the fish, right? If anybody does not want a sneak peek of the fish, look away. So here's my plan for this. I actually have the first part of this filmed. I just need to do the voiceover and the final edits, and I should have that ready to go for Saturday. Do I also have a video game channel? I don't on YouTube. You know what? This is really like, for whatever reason, that's really distracting. That music is really distracting. But I do over on Twitch. I have kind of gotten away from gaming, streaming gaming. I still play games. I would like to at some point be able to work a day in over on Twitch, because I do have a community over there that really, you know, supported me when I was streaming full time. But all of my stuff in OBS is set up from when I used to full time game stream. But I am hold on just a second. But I am queen_of_flannel over on Twitch, if anybody has Twitch. Okay. Let us... Alright, so this is where I am at with our fish. So this is my plan. Is the first part of this will come out in a video on Saturday, so you guys can watch me get to about this point. I did some of this, the blue, like off camera, because it took me a while, and I feel like after about like 20 minutes of watching me use one pencil, that was a bit much. So, you know, I did some of this on camera, and then I started working on this area over here. And then for next week's live stream on Tuesday, we will work more on this, since so I wanted to wait until Ryan had started working on his, since he's hosting it, you know, for this month. And now that he has started working on his, and he did his live stream and shared his first look, I'm comfortable releasing mine. So thank you guys, I appreciate that. I'm pretty happy with the way it's come out so far. And if you didn't see the because we, like I said, we did the palette for this on stream. Let me just pull up my reference photo here so you guys can see what I was kind of looking at. So that's my my reference photo, at least in terms of like the color palette. Obviously, this is an actual fish and not a stylized fish with water for his tail. And then I might copy Ryan. He made a comment about for his doing a black background. And I might do a black background for mine also, just because that's what my reference photo has. And I don't want to do blue water because I've got too much blue like already in here. So, but yeah, that's where I'm at, and that's the plan for it. So the video should come out on Saturday. Okay. And I know Sonia has been like just chomping at the bit for this. So next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna swatch these out. I've used them in a project and I haven't swatched them yet. And I've had them for a little while. They've been out for a little while. It's a little confusing on Ohuhu's website, so I'm not sure if one of these was up there as like a place marker for a future set. But if I go to their website and pull up the... Where are you? So the website says that there is a 24 color skin tone, the 60 color landscape, the 60 color illustration, and then it says there's a 24 basic color set. Hold on a second. So basic, illustration. There was, maybe they've changed it, because at one point there was a set that was listed here that I couldn't find. But I have the 60 landscapes, the 60 illustration, and the 24 basic. So let me go ahead and grab one of these out here that I think we'll actually be able to like to see. So what did I do with the little thing? Is it under this thing? Oh, well, I may have lost my little swatch sheet that came, the little card that came with it. If that's the case, I don't have another little. I've moved stuff around on my desk. You over here? Oh no! What have I done? Is that it? Nope, I found it. Crisis averted. Okay, so let me see what I've got here. Okay, so this is one of the Honolulu markers, just one of the brush and the fine tip markers, and as you can see, it has a perfectly round barrel. But they were kind enough to put these little like knobbies on here so that it doesn't roll off your desk. And then the Kaala markers have kind of a tapered barrel to them. So you've got the chisel tip on the wider end and the fine tip on the other. And actually, since I've got it out here, let me just look at this. So these are pretty much the same. I know that's probably not focusing real great, but they're about the fine tips are about the same size. So not much difference in those. And you can swap them out. You can replace the nibs on both of these. And then the chisel tip on this one is they call it the broad slim. So I wish I had another, like, one of the chisel tip sets out here on my desk. Let me see. I have so much crap on my desk, you guys. These are all, unfortunately, the brush and the fine tips, but is it under here? Okay. My other set was actually under my desk, so let me... So the brown marker on the right is the standard chisel tip for the Ohuhus. That's on one of the Honolulus out of the 320 set. And you can definitely see it is longer. There's more to it, and it is a slimmer design than the standard chisel tip, and the point on this actually comes to a point. So it's kind of beveled. So it's a little bit better for using that side of the chisel tip for like details and whatnot. And I talked about this in the video where I did the illustration of the bookshop. but it's actually a really interesting, like, totally lost my train of thought because something just crashed out in my other room. Give me just a second and I will be right back. I need to go see which animal or child is breaking things in the other room. What? Okay. Everybody's alive. Why does this sound like stripper music? This also sounds like stripper music. What is this playlist? Hey Pam, how are you? Sorry, I had to go make sure because it is. Maybe. I mean, Soundstripe has music for everything. I had to go make sure that nobody was breaking things in my other room. Okay, so we'll do if I can get us in here. So we'll swatch these out. I'm just going to try and do these like that would be extra if I had to strip while listening. Lol. So I kind of mixed these all up the last time that I was using them. So just to like save some space on my desk, we'll do the grays first. Oh man, I need to like clean my desk. So this is not going to be like in order of the card, and also it is not going to... Are you going to be nice? This camera setup irritates me. What is this? Touch shutter enabled, touch shutter disabled. Because if I get in too close, the autofocus is gonna go crazy. So so this is CG 130. This is neutral gray 130. I don't know why it's not just NG for neutral gray. Because to me, CG is cool gray. Are these alcohol or water-based markers? These are alcohol markers. So next we've got CG051 neutral gray. Again, I don't know why it's a CG and not an NG, but... And I also don't understand their, like, what their numbers mean, because they don't generally, correspond to, like, anything that I can figure out. Cats have the worst timing. Now they come harass me for food. Yeah, I fed Lorna while I was out there, and I'm sure Aluso is bullying her away from her lunch. Next is GG010 green gray. So that makes sense. Warm gray 160. GG030 green gray. I feel like this could probably just be, this looks more like a cool gray than a green gray. BG041 cool gray. I don't understand this. I guess because they use cool gray for their neutral grays. Which, that looks more like a neutral gray to me. Sorry, I feel like I'm complaining. I really do like these markers. I'm just not a fan of their numbering system. Oh, did I green gray 090? Nope, that's right. I am not a fan of Ohuhu's numbering system or random planets, as we have come to find out. No. No Christmas music. This is MG170 blue gray. Why? What does MG mean? Blue-green, or blue-green, BG0830 cool gray. 083. Warm gray 190. BG043. I do like these chisel tips. Chisel tip. Oh, you're not part of the gray family. You go over there. Warm gray 140. Are you on this page? Or are you on the other page? I think you're on the other page. Maybe? Oh, okay. Oh, God, there's a cat in here. My door is closed. How'd you get in here? Seriously, where is this one? Do you not belong, do you not belong to this set? Did I mix something up? Because I legitimately do not see this. I do not see a, WG140. How is this? I'm a big fan of all these grays. Like, actually a big fan of all these grays, or was that like, oh my god, there's too many grays? You are definitely not a warm gray. You are definitely an ecru or an eggshell, my friend. I love grays. I'm weird. No, that's not weird. I just wasn't sure if you were like, if you were being like facetious about it. I also enjoy gray. Okay, this is a warm gray. Rather use them or wear them. I wear a lot of gray as well. Okay, so that's those. Let's need to make it happen with grays. My hair is already signed up. Yo, facts. I'm ready to go full Silver Fox. Or Silver Vixen, I guess. Oh, you little... No, wait, that's pale lavender. Never mind. Okay, so then we're gonna start on the reds and whatnots. So this is R195 pear color. That's a pretty color. R194 skin white. Okay, all right. The cap on this one looked way more pink than I would prefer, like, for a skin tone. But it's pretty peach. I think this set, for having just 60 markers, has a good selection. Like, when I did the bookshop illustration, I didn't feel limited. R586 Coral Red. Well, that's a gorgeous color. I might use this one today when I show you guys what our image is. If we get that far. How long have I been live? Hour and a half. Because it's like, I want to color something today, but I'm also kind of hungry, and there is a pizza in the fridge that has been speaking to me. This is a Christmas song. We can't have that. So that was mid-orange. YR892 French Vermilion. E763 Potato Brown. Potato. What are you doing, Parker? R872 Tomato. Sorry, I got distracted. Well, that's an interesting color name. R446 Red Bean Paste. I don't recall seeing that in any of my other Ohuhu sets. Interesting. YR495 Salmon. I know, right? I'm going to color this with a red bean paste. R393 Coral Pink. Where are you? Are you on this page? I don't know why you'd be on this page. You are on this page. Silly me. RV783 Rose Red. RV390 Rose Pink. That is a very pink. RV789 Vivid Reddish Purple. Oh, no, that's a yellow. We'll hold off on that. R293 Pastel Rose. Blah, 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 blah. Where are you? There you are. Okay, so I'm gonna yoink those out of that cubby. Oh no! Did I already do... I didn't. I put it back. I'm just trying to like reorganize real quick before I start the next set. Try to put the ones I've already done back in the little like cubbies in the case. Let's see. Okay, so now we've got E463 walnut. That is definitely a walnut. E191 cream color. So, what are you guys working on today, if you're working on anything? E769 Brick Brown. Hey, Brittany, how are ya? Welcome on in. We are swatching the 60 Ohuhu Illustration tones, the column markers right now. E182 Putty. Are you almost finished with your fish? I still have a hot minute left to go on mine, but 7396 primary yellow. Why did I put that back in the pile that I'd already done? Or the pile that wasn't done? because I'm not paying attention. E294 Buttercup Yellow. Was painting roses early because I finally learned how to paint them. Nice. I look forward to seeing the video when you make a video, because I'm going to assume you're going to make a video of you painting roses. Prepping dinner now, though. I'm thinking about lunch, but I'm not sure if my kid is going to want... I'll probably just have my afternoon hot beverage and a snack. Y468 Taffy. Taffy. This is not the color that I think of when I think of taffy. I guess I think of like bright colors like this. Paint roses on camera? You should. You should definitely paint roses on camera. E557. Gonna assume you're on this page. Raw Umber. Y764, this is olive yellow. I'm gonna need like a hard reset on my office after this. There is stuff everywhere. Everywhere. Y495 lemon yellow. I hear bells. That better not be what I think it is. Okay, no, it's not a Christmas song. Crisis averted. Y195 Primrose. E342 Chocolate. And now I've got Y792 Marigold. This is one of my favorite colors in this set. We've got E198 Light Gray Orange. Let's do, you know what, let's get this black. Get this guy out of there. We are almost done with the swatchings. Let's do the violets first, because that should finish up this front page. So V280 Jacaranda. Jacaranda? I'm assuming that's some kind of flower. Of course you're on the next page. V280. B189. Dark violet. B990, pale lavender. B287, purple mallow. It's also another one of my favorite colors in this set. V369, lavender. Wondering if anyone can recommend some good water-based markers for coloring. Have a few Tombow brush markers. Is there anything else worth looking into? KP, give me, let me finish the swatching on these because I'm almost done, and then I will pull a couple of things out of one of my drawers that might be a good option for you. Hi Jen, how are ya? Going back to see all the goodies. Just wanted us to know you're here. Well, we're glad that you could be here, Jen. There's no like super late. We all have lives. Especially like during the day. I know people work. But I'm super glad to see you. But yeah, if anybody else in the chat has recommendations on water-based markers other than the Tombows and you guys want to discuss it while I finish this, feel free to talk amongst yourselves. Personally though, I am a fan of the Tombows. V567, light violet. I think I have some Ohuhu water-based markers around here as well. I also have some from Arteza that I like. But so that was RV968 Vivid Purple. But I can't multitask as of late, so B289 Pastel Blue. B459 Marine Blue. I've used the Artezas on it's a whip, but one of the, I can't remember what it is. It's from Kirby's Mythic World that's got the big creature with like the little like cranes in his head. I think I have a set of Ohuhu markers that I don't... Actually, I may have given those to my niece. I think I have a set of Ohuhu water-based markers that come in like the case like this, but they were you can't really find them like on their website. I think they were like a white label type deal. B883 Cerulean Blue. G474 is Lake Green. B288 Lapis Lazuli. B956 Sapphire. G472 Vivid Green. Oh, you want to go out? Are you trying to on delay? Here you go, bud. Bye. G468 Petite Pois. King Art makes a set of water-based markers that are similar to the Tombos. I may have to check that out. Check them out. I have the King Art gel crayons that everybody raves about. G479 Bud Green. G950 Turquoise Green. And is this our last one? It is. The last one is G750 Emerald Green. So this case is a little snug, and also my, oh wait, no, it wasn't the illustration ones that, one of my cases for these, because I have the other sets, was actually, the clip on the front broke, but yeah, so that is it. There are the, these are the illustration markers with the slim and broad, chisel tip. There are 60 of them. So a pretty, I have the landscape set as well. Learned today that Karen Dash have a water brush with a fiber tip nib. Ooh. I'll have to look for that. You are very welcome. It needed to be done, and I am happy to do it. I should have done it before my last project, but, you know, hey, it gave us some content for today. What is the difference between water-based and alcohol markers? Want to start with markers, but know nothing. So water-based markers are filled with it's typically a water-based solution and glycerin, and alcohol markers are filled with alcohol and dye. The biggest difference between the two, besides their composition, is going to be in how they perform on paper. Let me grab a Tombow. And let me see if, I don't know if I have any cardstock on here. So these are a couple of the Tombow. These are the water-based. They both have their pros and cons. So water-based markers, I like to use these for underpainting. So I'll lay these down as a base, and then I will use them with colored pencil over the top. These are generally safer to use on like double-sided pages because they won't bleed through your paper. The con to working with water-based markers is that they tend to be very streaky. So when you're laying your marker down, you have to be very, very mindful not to double back over what you've already colored. It can be really difficult to get them to blend out nicely, which is part of the reason why usually I just use them as a base, and then I will work with pencils over the top. So rather than try and do like a 3-color blend with water-based markers. Alcohol markers, pros are that they are much easier to blend, but they will soak through your paper. Even high quality like paper designed for markers, you're going to more than likely get ghosting, especially if you use more than one layer, which typically you're going to. My preferred paper that I use them on is the Express It blending card, and I still get bleed through onto the back of the paper. Water-based markers tend to be a little cheaper and easier to find. Alcohol markers can be a little more on the pricey side. But Ohuhu is pretty affordable. That's what we were working with today, was the Ohuhu. These are alcohol markers. I do not have the skin tone set. I just have the illustrations, the landscape, and the basic set. And yes, the Tombow markers and most water-based markers are going to be work better on a smoother paper. Since we were talking about it at the beginning of the stream, I actually I have quite a few videos on my channel working with markers. There's one from a little ways back where I did a tutorial on underpainting with the Tombows and colored pencils. And then actually I've got about a half an hour left, so we were gonna work with the alcohol markers. So I'm not quite sure. I'm going to think about this for a minute of what color I want to do my building. Actually, I said I'd pull some water-based markers for KP. So give me just a second. Okay, so I have a bunch of different different water-based markers. I do tend to prefer my Tombos, but I also have these from Arteza. Now, if you go for these, be super mindful of what you're buying, because they also have the Everblend Ultra, the alcohol markers. So make sure if you're looking for the water base that it says H2O on it, lest you accidentally get alcohol markers. But I have used these on a project, and I like these because the brush nib on them, so it's a brush and a chisel. I like the larger brush tip on these for larger areas. I mean, they're both about, let me see. They're both about the same. But I find the Tombos really good for like smaller detailed areas, and then these tend to be a little bit better for larger areas. But these are definitely not bad markers at all. I had the Arteza, the Everblend, the alcohol markers, but I just wasn't using them enough. I tend to favor my Copics, and so I ended up donating my Arteza alcohol markers to my son's school, his school's art department. But these are pretty nice. I should bring these out. This set has the bright and the neons. Then there's the muted vintage, and then the pastels. Arteza also has another marker called the Twi marker, and they're water based, but it's a thinner marker. And I found the brush nibs on it like really they're pretty stiff. I have used them before. I think I gave those to my niece, and they were really small brush tips on those, in kind of difficult to use in larger spaces. I'm trying to think. I know you'd have to go back through her videos, but Erica over at Elm Colors has some videos on her channel where she's used the Crayola Super Tips with pencil over top of them and gotten really nice results. And I'll throw these out here just because. So these are not a water-based marker. These are actually India ink, but you can use them. You can use them like water-based markers, and these are actually a lot less streaky, but they're expensive. So these are the Faber-Castell, the Pitt Artist markers. I'm thinking watercolor markers, then start looking to watercolor pencils, so I'm stuck. I use water-based markers and alcohol markers for different things. If I really want to blend my markers and use just markers, I'll use the alcohol markers. If I just want a flat color, I'll use my water-based markers, or something like these, like the Pitt pens. So I got this illustration from Inky Paper House. I will post the link to her Ko-fi page where I got this in the description after the stream ends. If I were made of money, I'd have all of the Pitt pens. I probably would too. If I was made of money and if I had a bigger office. Because I'm already like maxed out on space. So, here, let me get a little bit of this down and I'll kind of show you. So, it's hard to see on here, but this is the Express It blending card, and just that little bit, it's still going to come through the back, so definitely not the best option for books that are double-sided, unless the backside image is something that you don't really care about. I have multiple copies of some of my books for specifically that reason. You know, if I really want to color something with alcohol markers, but it's in a double-sided book, and sometimes I just want a copy of a book that I can use as like a tester book. But I know that's not an option for everybody. The Derwent watercolor pencils, the Albrecht Dürers, and the Caran d'Ache Museum Aquarels are all good watercolor pencils. This is very true. I have the Derwent and the Museum Aquarels. And they are great pencils, but they are not cheap. I think out of those three, if money is an option, the Derwents are probably going to be the cheapest. But the nice thing about them is, well, all of them you can do this with, because I've done it with my my Derwents, and I really need to use my Museum Aquarels more. You can also use the pencils dry, so sometimes I will use them watercolor and then use the pencil dry for detail work at the end. I tend to prefer my my Derwents though, and I've just started using the Distress watercolor pencils, which are a fun option. I actually have the final 3 sets. They actually should be here tomorrow. Paint a light layer of watercolor ground like the Daniel Smith on one side of the double-sided page. You can. I have done that before with gesso, and it works, but you also have to be careful to make sure that you get complete coverage, and it can be really difficult to make sure you've covered the entire page. Plus, then you've got to let it sit. So if you really wanted to color the page, if you guys can hear my stomach growling, I'm going to apologize. I'm kind of hungry. But yes, watercolor grounds and gesso are an option. Do I have the new one? The Scorched Timber that's sold by itself? I actually need to get that one. When I ordered the bundle, I completely forgot that that was on its own, so I will be missing that one. But I'm not super worried about it. I'll get it eventually. I'll probably wait until there's other stuff that that I want, so I'm not just placing an order for like one item. As everybody that I have met so far on ColorTube is very helpful, and just everybody kind of has their niche in their medium that they, you know, prefer. So it's nice to see just all the different things that people do, and everybody kind of has their favorite subject that they like to color as well. I probably could flip over and use the fine point for those little spaces, but I don't really care. We're going for an urban gritty look anyways, because that's just how I roll. So that was Y396 primary yellow. Let's go with Y495. We're going with the lemon yellow. like vaudeville music. Jukebox. And then we get the salsa music. I don't know, this playlist is wild. I don't know if I'm still on the same playlist. What is it? No, we're still on the jazz playlist. Does anyone use gel sticks, and can they be used as watercolor pencil types? Yes, sort of. Yes. You can scribble them onto a palette and pick them up with your with your water brush and use them that way. Depending on the gel stick, and I would recommend testing it out on your paper before you commit to a page. I don't recommend putting the gel crayon directly onto your paper and trying to blend it out that way. I find I get a lot of streaks and it's really difficult to blend out. What I generally like to do is scribble it on my palette and pick it up with either, depending on whether I'm watercoloring with them or whether or not I'm using them dry for a background. I'll either pick them up with my water brush, or I have some makeup brushes, the big round makeup brushes, and some stencil brushes, and I will pick them up dry with those and use those on my paper. I find it easier to blend out that way. Basically anything I do with those, I put the crayon on a palette. Yeah, I definitely prefer working with them that way. King Art has a nice set of gel crayons that are pretty popular. I have those, and I also have the gelatos from Faber-Castell, but those are a little more expensive. I also wish that I had known that before, because I did have some I tried to attempt some things, but you know, that's how we learn. Oh, no problem. I mean, what good would I be if I was making content and not sharing my tips with you guys? Just hoarding all of the tips. That would be silly. I really do like the chisel tip on these. Like, I honestly wish that they would have just put this chisel tip on the Honolulu markers. Because I would hands down use that entire set of markers. And it's so weird because it's like, I don't use the chisel tips on my Copics very much, but just I would absolutely use these chisel tips. Chisel tip. Well, I am glad that you have picked up some new tips and tricks. You know what? We're just gonna color those the same thing, and then we will find a different, darker color. I will say, though, these markers are kind of stinky. This music gives you Charlie Chaplin and Flapper. It does. I was just thinking that. I was thinking like the old like silent films, like the slapstick style comedy. I just imagine people riding around on big giant bicycles. Do watch Lucy. I love Lucy. I love her videos. She's just such a sweet person. Black and white films with the subtitles, yes. I guess I should do the windowsill the same way as the door. Makes sense. This playlist is so random. Done lots of color alongs with her, and she doesn't even know it. Aw. She's, like, I mean, we all have our own, like, creative journey, but her confidence in her, like, abilities, has just come by, like, leaps and bounds. Like, I remember when I first started watching her, and, you know, she, just, I don't really know how else to explain it, you know, but she's just, really just, it's, I won't say like a completely different vibe, because Lucy is Lucy, but just her confidence. She is very humble. I will definitely concur with that. She just seems a lot more like willing to just try things out, and more so just like her confidence in herself. Early Viz, her voice was so unsure and timid, and might not. Yes. Yes. And I know she still does a lot of like testing offline, and so sometimes like she'll color the page, like she'll copy it and print it to test things out, which I mean I still do that. But I think she's gotten to a point where she's doing that last and just taking the leap and having the idea and going like right into the book, and whatever happens, happens. But she was definitely a very like, I don't want to mess this up, you know? And a lot of that has definitely like changed. Okay, what do I want to do with... You know what? We're just gonna keep it simple. We're gonna use the same brown for our chimney, because I have it in my hand. Yeah, I actually really like enjoyed the chisel tips on these more than the regular, because I can just turn the marker and use the edge of it like I would the fine tip side. Just check they're out of stock in Europe, like all of them, like every set. I want to color this little lobster guy. I suppose I'm not spending any money then. Oh, hopefully they come back in stock. I saw somebody post the other day, but I think it was more toward like about Australia, that they were not able to get them in Australia, or not able to get them like smoothly. And Ohuhu basically said that they have no plans to distribute them in Australia. Which if that's the case, that's a little funky, considering like I'm fairly certain that they sent markers to Sarah Renee Clark. And so if they're going to send supplies to content creators, but they're not going to distribute them in that content creator's country, that's I don't really know what to say about that. I feel like I saw that comment from the individual that received that email, either in Sarah's Facebook group or one of the other, like, because I'm in Lucy's Facebook group, I'm in Ryan's Facebook group, and I'm in Sarah's Facebook group, and I'm fairly certain I saw it come up there that somebody had looked into trying to get them in Australia and were kind of knocked back a little bit. And on that topic, I think it was Lucy's group, the thing about the Prismacolor open stock came up again. And people were getting kind of nasty about it. I actually got an email back from them, and they flat out said that they are not discontinuing the open stock, like the open stock Prismas, but that certain stores and certain distributors have made the decision not to carry them anymore. And that's on those distributors and those stores, but that you will still be able to get the open stock the Prisma premieres on places like Blick and stores that decide that they want to carry them. But it came out like they were completely like discontinuing, and I'm interested to hear what I would have liked to have seen the front half of the email that the individual in the group shared, and I would have liked them to have confirmed whether or not that was an email that they sent themselves in a response that they got back, or whether or not that was something someone shared in another group and that they had screenshotted and shared with us and it was out of context. Or whether or not the person who replied back to that email wasn't informed correctly, because they specifically said to me that there are certain colors, referring to the lilac and the amethyst, the two that they discontinued because they couldn't source the pigments anymore. They specifically referenced those and then said, but we have swapped those out for the two that they swapped them out for, and then explained, like, we're not stopping making or offering them open stock. But once we make them, it's up to the retailers and the distributors from there. They have the skin tones in stock. Nothing like a good witch hunt, though. Like, I wish that, like, Prismacolor would just put on their website, like, hey, put it on their website blog, say, hey, we understand that there has been rumors that have been circulating concerning that, like, this stock, and just straight up, like, lay it out there. Because there are some of the other, like, pencil lines that they are not going to be distributing the full line of colors, like the Colorase and the Verithin. So, like, you'll still be able to get, I think it's the Colorase, like the black, the white, the blue, I think an orange, because a lot of people use those as drawing pencils. I know a lot of people, especially in the marker community, like them because the alcohol marker will dissolve the marker, or dissolve the pencil. So they've just cut it down to, like, the more prominent, like, popular colors. Art coloring community tends to whip itself into a frenzy over stuff unnecessarily. Sometimes this is true. And I think even Lindsay the Frugal Crafter, like, she reached out and spoke to somebody, like, on the phone, and came back and said, like, no, they're not going to just straight up stop making them. But I think there was also issues with distributors in Canada, and a lot of it has to do with, like, supply chain issues and the cost of buying them and them not getting, like, not selling. So, like, if Michaels decides to spend, I'm just throwing random just numbers out for gigs, if Michaels is spending $5,000 to the distributor for Prismacolor, and even with markup only making a fraction of that back, and it's not worth them continuing to stock or sell it, like, I can understand that from a logistics perspective. Especially considering, like, when manufacturers and distributors, like, have to jack up their prices to cover costs, then it just it trickles down, you know. And then the distributor comes to Michaels and says, hey, well, our cost is this and we're not making this, so we're going to have to charge you more. And then Michaels is like, well, I mean, I'm not making back what I'm paying in the first place. So I'm going to have to make the decision to not carry this product anymore. And I think, you know, if you've never worked in logistics or supply chain, that stuff probably doesn't, it's not your first, like, thought. But I have worked in logistics and supply chain stuff, and you know, it all comes down to money. But I think that is probably going to be where I leave it for today. So I'll probably work on this some more, like, off camera, and then I'll share it over on Instagram when I'm done, and I will go in and update the, you know what, I hate monologuing over the music, so you finished swatching? What were you swatching? Did I miss what you were swatching? Yes, I also need to go get some lunch, which is part of the reason why it's time for me to stop. But I will go in after the stream ends, and I will make sure that all of the links and whatnot are updated for the books and the products that I showed at the beginning. I will link to Inky Paper House's shop where I got this, and the column markers. Everything will be updated once I get some lunch. Maybe I will grab my lunch and bring it back to my desk, and I'll work while I eat, because I do that sometimes here and at the base. So let me recap. Channel is eligible for monetization, but I would like to get to 3,500 watch hours before I consider applying. For the rest of the week, actually, well, so some of the rest of the week is going to depend on if there are any, like, specific books that you want a flip through of. You can leave those in the comments when the stream ends, and I'll go back in and check. If that happens, I'll probably have a flip through, like, Thursday-ish. Saturday will, barring unforeseen circumstances, be part 1 of our Kirby fish for Ryan's buddy color. Since he's started working on his, I'm comfortable putting mine out, so that will be Saturday, typically around noon Eastern. And then part 2 of the fish will be next Tuesday's stream. So later on in the week, you'll see the scheduled, like, upcoming go out. I'll probably wait until Saturday to drop that once the video for part 1 goes up. That way people have a chance to watch it, and I can use the photo for, like, the thumbnail. Yeah, and then I've got next week's stream planned. I don't have next week's video planned yet, so we'll just kind of see where we're at. I don't know. We've still got some time on that, but yeah, so that's going to be where I leave it for today. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I super appreciate it. We covered a lot of stuff today, a lot of, like, tips and tricks and supplies and art and books, and it really means a lot that you guys would take the time to come and hang out. If you have not yet, and you could pop a like on the stream video, that helps kind of boost things up and gets the channel out there so more people see it. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Have a great rest of your Tuesday.